Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the next installment of the Just Us Review, where we like to take our favorite shows, whether it's in the realm of superhero, supernatural, that spooky boo stuff. And you guys know by now, we like it, we love it. And if we hate it, goddamn it,
you're going to hear about it.
Oh, you know it. So today, we got to keep this train moving because we're talking about the Mandalorian, Mando Calrissian. So in this week episode, we get introduced to some blasts from the past. And if you watch anything from Clone Wars and Rebels, you know who we're talking about. Ahsoka Tano, Jedi extraordinaire, and the only Padawan of that of Darth Vader. And I love the fact that she didn't even mention his name. But a lot was going on this episode. Well, not really a lot, but let's go around the table and give brief introductions. What did you feel about this episode?
I liked it personally because we get to meet the other Jedis. If you hadn't seen the Clone Wars like I haven't, you're introduced to Ahsoka Tano and basically how amazing she is, in my opinion. And so we get to see the bond that she makes with Grogu. Baby Yoda.
So, just to piggyback off that, we learned that she's able to speak with Yoda and that he finally has a name, and he's called Baby Yoda. So,
that's what I heard.
I heard Goku. I didn't even gonna lie.
I heard Khal Drogo. But, okay, so all in all, you liked it?
Yeah, it was good. I liked the action of it. I liked that it was Rosario Dawson. So yeah, you get to see a POC woman Jedi.
That's what I'm talking about. I love some
Even
Rosario.
she was orange first.
She was still a person of color. That color just happened to be orange. Christian.
It was fine. Could have used a vampire. Seriously.
I see what it means.
So it was fine. I do have some questions though. Mainly in regards to some special effects type deal. But other than that, I didn't have any glaring problems with it. I mean, she came, she did her thing. We need to get phrasing back in the mix, but she came, she did her thing. We learned some stuff, and they dropped some names that I guess I'm supposed to care about, but because I'm an X-Men fan, I don't know what that So, but yeah.
Imagine if X-Men, they just dropped the word Genosha. But Sid, how do you feel?
Episode was cool. It was very quiet, and I didn't know how to feel about that. But I watched the entire episode all the way through. It captured my attention. It was just something about that planet was just very. I don't know if that was the planet or that's just the what they were going for the scene.
Just to ask you, better than Fishman Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. John, round us out. How do you feel?
I thought it was fine. Y'all talking about Ahsoka Tano and stuff, and the weird planet. I get what you mean because there was a lot going on because it was split up in sections where it was well, here's a western part with a saloon and shit, and then here's a forest, and then here's a Game of Thrones castle right here. And it's what do you want to be? Huh? Pick one.
What are we doing here?
Just to echo some of the things that everybody's saying, I liked the episode. More particular, that's one thing I actually wanted to address too. I like how they make the planet seem different.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's different elements so that you can say, okay, this planet is unique and different from planet X, Y, and Z. I know they're going for a Western theme, but it's nice to see that they focus on detail. Okay, at least we're on different planets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Every sand planet looks the same.
Yeah.
They can't help that.
Well,
what is this, sand?
How can we make sand interesting? But one thing.
I mean, it's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
Unless you're the Mandalorian.
But there were some nuggets that I loved about the show, particularly the combat, of course, in the beginning. When Ahsoka is doing her hunt down, when she's pretty much in her serial killer mode, and she's just stalking people down and taking them out with her.
Well, I wanna say this about the combat. Better than it was in the last episode, and this was something I wanted to mention but never got a chance to. like when certain people are doing the choreography, you could tell like they're half-assing it because they're not supposed to. Looking at you, Gina Carano. Pull your punches, and like we can tell. But this episode was fine with the choreography. It was better than last week. I will say this: the boss lady character, with the spear. When they was about to fight, she looked like she was like, oh, I'm finna lose. she was looking real unfamiliar.
She was like, damn, I didn't work out today.
So this is how it happens.
She was like, fuck, my white supremacist is losing.
I don't know. I didn't really care for the fight scenes this episode, especially that last fight, because should a Jedi struggle that much?
So I'm gonna say this. I don't think that's what you think the problem is. I think you think the problem is they should push for a little. There needs to be a little more oomph in these fight scenes. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I get for what they did, because Rosario Dawson isn't a fucking ninja, but for what they have her doing, it looks fine for TV, for what this is supposed to be. And I'll always give this show credit for the fact that they're doing a lot of the effects that you would normally see for a movie. They're doing it for TV, and for the most part, they're not compromising on it.
I will pull my statement back a little bit. When she started to fight the Mandalorian when they first met up,
oh yeah,
that was cool.
Oh yeah,
that was cool.
I was like, I don't know what that armor's made of, but we need it everywhere.
Yeah, but because she was moving like she did in a cartoon. I know you haven't watched, but she was moving like a cartoon character, and that's what I always kind of feared when it comes to Star Wars. Is because in the cartoon they're a lot more fluid in their movements and their jumps and stuff like that.
Because
like
they have them jumping around and it's all anime and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, from the very little that I've watched on the internet regarding Star Wars content and other people that talk about this, when it comes to like a big contention for a lot of people is the lightsaber battles across all mediums. And you know, some people didn't like the lightsaber battles that came in the later series, in the later movies. For whatever reason, they like the ones in the first 3 movies, and I'm like, yeah, this is fine, but like I would like them to do some flips and shit. That's just me. You know, I'm not saying that the previous ones were bad or anything like that, but let's be real, those movies are like 50 years old. Let's move the fuck on.
So you wanted to say something about the forms and the styles?
Well, one thing I just want to point out is like we get more of the lore, and I think this is what some of the things that you were alluding to, and jump in if you want to. Some of the things that were fleshed out. So we learned that Baby Yoda, I'm not calling him by that name, other name.
Goku. I mean, let's be real. That name does not sell toys.
It sounds gross.
I joked about calling him Goku, but you will probably sell more toys if you called him Goku. I'm not even gonna lie.
Because people have been calling him Baby Yoda since the show started.
Exactly.
And so everyone's like, no, this isn't Yoda. Let us show you that this isn't Yoda by giving this unnamed
But
baby
you took too
a
long.
name.
Sorry.
Well, the thing is, and another thing is, it's kind of like pissing on people's fun because everybody knows this isn't Yoda. But it's like, let us just have the fun with it. But one thing I loved is that they just went more entrenched into the lore, and this is something I wanted Star Wars always to do, is you have this expanded universe, keep mining, you build it. So we learned that Baby Yoda was trained on Coruscant, that he was actually around before Order 66 was announced, and he's one of the very few survivors of it, which is big in itself. We know that he was kidnapped for the planet, which means that there was a special order ingrained that they search out for him in particular, which is something huge, because it's like, okay, all Jedis were to die except for this child for some reason, which expands his role out even bigger in the universe. We learned that there are a few more remnants of Jedis, and they're able to find each other through another legendary temple.
I also like that we got to expand more on the bond between the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Who's that?
I don't know. I think she tried to burp and it got stabbed.
I like that they showed us his name because this entire time he's just been calling him kid or hey
The child.
it or the child
Hey.
or
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Come here, buddy.
But now because he gets to call him by his name and then the child looks up at him immediately, it's kind of like furthered their bond. And even when he was trying to show his Jedi powers, with the ball, something that had significance to him, and because it was coming from him and the child saw him as a father figure, it kind of strengthened their bond more. And so I like that part.
Speaking of that, I found it interesting that and I also found it funny because of a joke he made. But the part where she's like, "I'm not training."
I'm not
And he's like, "But why?" And he's like,
Oh, no, this motherfucker.
She's like, he's grown an attachment to you. He has emotions now. And he's like, so whatever. Teach him to do laser shit. And she's like, no, because now that he has emotions and stuff, you can't teach Jedi. I've seen what happens when a Jedi with emotions, you know.
Starts using the Force.
Exactly. And what did you say in response to that? I said, in my opinion, the Jedi are evil. For those that don't know, that's an Anakin quote.
But I love that they make the reference without saying the name.
Exactly.
Because, like, this is what Star Wars needs to be now. Like, we understand. If you watched it, then you understand. And if you haven't watched it, then you honestly don't need to know. Her reference can be vague, but also make sense at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So, something else I want
Sorry.
to say in regards to that episode. So, I know between me and you, we talked about how our digestion of Star Wars is more or less, if they're not talking about the Jedi stuff, then I can get whooped at. And this episode was talking about the Jedi stuff, and I'm like, that's a Jedi, I don't like it. So, I mean, like, at best I can only give this a 7.
But there were some side pieces to the story that I thought were, like, whoever does the writing for this story gets it.
So this was Dave Filoni, who also worked on the Clone Wars.
And created Ahsoka.
And it makes so much sense now because, one, they knew what they were doing. Two, I like the dry humors in the spots that it was in.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever does, like, the humor for the show is spot on, whether it's the stormtroopers, whether it's, you know, the situations that happen, but more particularly, the guy that Mando was fighting, and he was like,
oh, the hillbilly. The hillbilly?
he was like,
Fighting redneck.
he was like, well, I guess somebody got to win over there. Oh, how about we wait to figure out who it is?
Say it the way that he said. Well, I guess somebody has to win there, over there. I wonder who it's gonna be. So, okay, this was something that pissed me off. Like, the fuck? Your shotgun was already out. This motherfucker was unarmed. So, you put your shotgun down just to do some fancy quick draw shit, and I'm like, you had a gun. By the way, it was a shotgun. Did it shoot shot lasers? Because it looked like a regular ass shotgun. I'm like,
we forgetting.
is this Planet Alabama? What the fuck?
One thing that we keep forgetting is that the tech for Star Wars is all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like the old West on one side, but then Kill Bill on the other side, and so I was just trying to like, okay, so where are we going?
and that's the motif that I was getting to was like like you said. I'm glad you said that was a Kill Bill vibe too.
So it was a mix of it's been around the internet now that this was a homage to an old samurai movie. And you know, the Jedi are references to samurai, basically.
And also the Mormons, but yeah.
Yeah. And so,
He's not lying.
don't you mean Jehovah's Witness?
Sorry.
But yeah, so it's basically like, you know, the warrior comes to the town and defends the town against the army and whatnot. So they were taking motifs from that movie.
One thing I did find weird was the sex cages that the people were in.
Yeah, that took me off.
Like I was
gonna whack this guy off in front of people.
she was like, stick him in the cage. And you see the cage, I was thinking, okay, it's just a regular cage, but they see him get shocked, and I was like, as soon as I see the cage go, I was like, somebody's rubbing their nipple.
It's just standing there like, this looks kind of.
Where's the guy that pushed the button?
And then you see people peeking from behind their windows and stuff, and I was like, they jacking off behind those windows.
But all in all, I gotta say that this episode, like you said, we did learn some new information. I didn't really care too much about the lady in charge. I barely even knew what she was doing.
She just stood there and held a spear and looked, and I put this in extreme quotes, pretty.
Yeah.
But they dove more into her history. I'm blanking on it at the moment.
She was
a victim and decided to be a victim.
Be an oppressor.
Yeah. She was oppressed and she was like, well, this is working out for the guy, so let me
do it too.
Yeah.
Let me get in on that action.
What got me was after Ahsoka Tano said she wasn't going to train the child, and then he was like, oh, well, I was sent to kill you, so I can either kill you or you can help me, or I can help you and then you can train him. And then afterwards she was like, I'm still not training him, taking him here.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, fuck, we had
You know what?
Gave the okie doke.
Our mind flashed back. I was like, damn, my teacher killed a bunch of kids. I ain't raising another one of those. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, to find out that there are other Jedi out there, so we're gonna probably run into one or two more Jedi in the series.
well, we all
It's it's definitely an RPG at this point.
Yeah.
well,
Every mission
Well,
gives him another mission.
Well, they dropped another name that a lot of Star Wars fans get chubbies over at the end of this episode, Rear Admiral Thrawn.
So let me go ahead and make the analogy for you.
Mhm.
They do names. You don't know who they are.
Mhm.
You know X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Thrawn is if Sinister wasn't so silly.
Yeah. And
But
they,
I like Philly Finish.
You like old Sinister too, don't you?
I didn't really give a fuck about.
Well, too bad.
New Sinister is great.
Too bad. We got regular,
Sinister
regular
just didn't
Sinister.
wanna
And what makes him significant, wasn't he in the old spin-off material before Disney came in and
He was in the extended universe stuff, and then he was also in Rebels.
okay.
So he brought him.
So he's like one of the very few. I think he might be the only person to break through from old extended universe.
So what's his deal? Like, why are they so hot for him?
He's a master strategist. He hunts down Jedi.
I thought Mandalorian hunt down.
no, Mandalorian is
Mandalorian-
just a bounty hunter. Deal.
Yeah, but Mandalorians and Jedi are mortal enemies apparently. Why?
Don't worry
Nah.
about it.
That's what they said in the episode.
They
That's what
got-
they've been
they-
saying in multiple
Cause
episodes.
that's why she sent him after. She was like, "Oh, Mandalores and Jedi are mortal enemies. Go get her."
It's like, here's
Chop,
the
chop, chop.
spirit. This is what you want.
Exactly.
Chop, chop, chop.
You want this Wakandan metal? This vibranium?
Look
Go
at the
go
shiny
get it.
thing. Go get it.
Oh boy.
So all in all, the series is keeping pace. Can't wait to see what they do next time. I'm actually waiting for a couple of things to come to fruition. Like some of us have seen Boba Fett.
So I'm gonna say
You
this.
will see Boba Fett.
Did you actually see it on Disney Plus, or
Yes,
were you streaming
Disney
it,
Plus. I
or were
can
you
pull
streaming
up
this
the
on some
episode.
illegal site?
I saw the same.
How
dare you.
Disney Plus I paid for. How
How
about
dare you? Cinema is not illegal. Get that dirty word out of your mouth.
How does my eyes looking at something illegal?
I was just making sure, because fans be making stuff out there, and maybe you watched it on the internet. You probably attached it at the end of the episode.
So pretty much, they missed something that was in the episode that was literally at the end. We're not even gonna go into that. So thank you guys for jumping in and watching this episode. Like and subscribe. We're gonna keep this.
How does Boba Fett being alive further the plot?
And I
Because
was
it's another Mandalorian, because they said in that episode the sheriff took no. The sheriff took it off a dead Mandalorian. We know what Boba Fett's outfit looked like, and before the Mandalorian even came out, we were like, wait a minute, is this Boba Fett?
wait, stop. Who gives a fuck about Boba Fett? He didn't do anything.
No, Boba Fett was a Mandalorian, and because if you remember, I think it was episode 1 or episode 2 where Jango Fett dies. No, episode 1 where Jango Fett dies and he leaves Boba Fett as a child, and so we learned that the Mandalorians would take abandoned children or orphan children, and so that's how he became a Mandalorian.
What did Boba Fett do in the other movies?
He was a bounty hunter.
He was a bounty hunter. He caught Han Solo, who was one of the biggest ruffians out there. Seriously, to catch Han Solo was a huge deal. When you catch a guy who's known for running when you catch a guy who's known for running the Kessel Run,
It was more like his pants were literally around his ankles, and then he walked in the bathroom and was like, "Reach for the sky."
exactly. Hey, wait, hold on. I gotta say something.
That's not really a
I gotta say something. No,
That's not really
I
a
gotta say
thing.
something. I gotta say something. Got is got no matter where you get got.
Okay,
If
but
you-
like
if you-
y'all make it seem like it was this big ass fight. No, literally they was all do, and first of all, Vader was there with them, so it was more like Vader did it.
Y'all,
Vader called him and was like, "Here, take them to there."
if you are the head person in charge, no matter what franchise you is, I don't care if you sitting on the toilet. I don't care if you had diarrhea that day. I don't care if they caught you slipping. You got caught.
Okay, but don't be spreading legends like these motherfuckers scrapped for 40 days and 40 nights. Exactly. His hands was around his ankle. And Kessel Run.
I saw something.
I saw Solo.
We also, but you gotta see how big stuff can get blown out of proportion.
And someone who wasn't a Star Wars fan, all I kept hearing was Kessel Run, Kessel Run, Kessel Run. And my imagination was like, this some Cowboy Bebop shit. He flying through the space, lasers and shit. And then we got Kessel Run was greatly exaggerated.
Exactly. The Kessel one was a trip to Walmart. So the thing is,
I think that's why people don't like Solo.
no, and they told them when you do this movie, do not show the Kessel Run, and they was like, do not show it because you're going to. And they was like, all right, show it.
They had the camera and they had the Kessel Run set up. And
Don't you do
And
it.
Mandalorian was like, no, put it over. Don't do that. It's like, no, don't do that.
And then Kathleen Kennedy was like,
do the Kessel Run.
don't do the Kessel Run.
And when everybody heard what the Kessel Run was, they was like, what the fuck is this? This is what he's known for. That's like Salt Bay. That's nothing. But like we said, thank you guys for joining us.
You don't know Salt Bay?
Hopefully you guys enjoyed what you've seen and will join us on the ride as we go through the rest of the season. So far the season has had its ups and of course its downs, but so far the progression has been A-okay. Like and subscribe, but until next time, Salt Bay ain't nothing.
Yeah, they did find out he was a fraud. He had like 2 restaurants that got shut down because he a fraud.
And,
Yeah.
and he nasty too.
Yeah, he can't.
I think the health department shut him down too because if you touch your hair and then touch food, you might have some cross
Yeah,
contamination.
he got like 2. Well, he had like 2 restaurants in New York that got shut down. They say he rude as fuck to his customers. Yeah,
And all because
Salt Bay shit.
you sprinkling salt. Like I swear, these internet people be losing their damn mind. Like
You sprinkling salt, and you also look a certain way.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He had abs. He had abs.
Peter Griffin.
you look like
Yeah, the tight shot. They weren't gonna let Blue Buscemi sprinkle salt on some food and then he become an internet. That was never gonna happen.
Again, thank you. And in the immortal words of every Star Wars fan out there, live long and prosper.